Goddess Isis, I thank you for the revelation of the Mystical Blue Scroll Talisman. And now I place this in your hands, seeking your blessing, gracious Goddess. May this talisman continue to be empowered by you, and wherever it is displayed, carried, or kept, may your power be there. So mote it be. And so mote it be. Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob, also known as Lord Ision. Well, I'm here with the Mystical Blue Scroll Talisman. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go back first and watch Wednesday's video. On Wiccan Wednesday, we talked about the Mystical Blue Scroll Talisman, where it came from, how it came to be, and how to use it. Today we're going to continue our discussion, but before we get into that, let's have a little recap. Now, as you will recall from Wednesday's video, the Mystical Blue Scroll Talisman was a talisman that I received in revelation from the goddess Isis. And she showed me a beautiful blue scroll with a sacred symbol upon it and said that whoever makes these scrolls would receive a blessing and be protected and have her help. And so I made this. This is my large size scroll, but I showed you also we can make smaller scrolls for travel to go in bags or carry. And as small, we could go as small as we wanted. I even made one that is as a necklace. In fact, here's my necklace on a cord with this scroll talisman hung on the cord. So that we know that the Mystical Blue Scroll Talisman can come in all sizes and travel with us and go wherever we want, or be put on display in our homes. Now, I know that some of you are going to say, well, Psychic Bob, I don't live in an area where I can get the blue paper to make the scroll. What else can I do? Well, one option that you can do is get blue fabric. If you can find plain blue fabric, you can make a scroll out of fabric and paint on the fabric. That's one option. Now, of course, some of you are going to say, well, Psychic Bob, I can't even do that. And plus, I want a large scroll. I'm very inspired by this, and I want to make a large wall scroll. What do I do? Well, don't despair. One of the options that you have is to use craft paper. This is brown craft paper that you can buy at pretty much any craft store. And it comes in various sizes. This size is 24-inch, and it goes up to like many feet. This one's a 30-inch roll, as you can see. So depending on how large your scroll is, or you want it to be, you can buy different widths of craft paper. Today we're going to use the 24-inch because that's the easiest to find in most stores. And it makes a nice size for a wall scroll. Now what I've done is I've taken the craft paper, I've pinned it up to the top of the wall. You can do this on the floor if you want. I just don't have a lot of floor space right now. And I think I paint better when I get to look at it on the wall. But you'll notice with craft paper that it has two sides. One side is waxy, and the other side is matte and plain. It's unglossy. So a glossy side and a non-glossy side. Make sure that you're painting on the non-glossy side, okay? And so what I've done is just pin this on the wall. I've smoothed it down, and I'm going to hook it at the bottom here. So as you can see, I have a 2-foot by 3-foot approximate size scroll. This is a nice large size wall scroll. Now, the next question is, people are going to say, well, wait a second, Bob. That's brown paper. The scroll I thought had to be on blue paper. Very good question. Very good point. It was revealed to me by the goddess that if blue paper cannot be acquired, that other colors, white, brown, other sort of neutral colors, even black, could be used for the scroll. But she did indicate to me that the writing should be in blue. So some way we want to bring blue into this. So even though technically it is not like the smaller scrolls, it will carry that blue element in the writing. Now, you do also have the option of painting the entire paper blue, which is another option. But today I don't have the amount of paint or time to do that, but that's another option. Another option is if you're near holiday season, you can probably buy some rolls of blue wrapping paper. I've seen some beautiful blue wrapping paper that could be used also for the scroll. Now, right now we're out of season. It's not Christmas time or Hanukkah time, so I can't find blue paper, but we're going to use brown craft paper because, you know, the ancient days, the ancient parchments were done on more of a brown paper anyways rather than blue. But as the goddess revealed to me that the writing should be in blue if you use another type of paper. Now I'm going to open our first scroll so you can be reminded what the symbol was. By the way, remember these are meant to be roll scrolls, so you can open them. You can take the seal off. It won't disperse their power like it would with some other charms. But as we open it, hold on, let me just set this. Okay, so I've unfurled our scroll here, and as you can see, here is the Sacred Sigil that was revealed to me. And if you don't understand what this is, make sure, please, you do need to see Wednesday's video, the first blue scroll video, where I explain in detail all of this. But this is our symbol, and what we want to do is recreate this on our giant wall scroll. So we're going to do that today. And so now I've mixed some blue paint here in this little bowl. I think a bright, vibrant blue is really important when you do this. Now, people are going to say, well, what type of brush do I use? Any type that you want. Today I'm using kind of a broad square end brush. I just feel like I need something with kind of a broad stroke. You can use even bigger brushes if you want to be very dramatic. But we're going to start with this and see how this works. In future scrolls, I may make it even more dramatic. Now, one of the things I want you to remember when you're making sigils like this is, first of all, if you want it to be powerful, you've got to be focused. So it's a good time just to pause and reflect and say, gracious goddess, work through this creation today of this symbol, that you will infuse it with your power. And in our very act of creation, may your power flow. So mote it be. And one of the things you want to think about is that you can make this kind of like calligraphy. It doesn't have to be perfect straight edges like we did on these smaller scrolls. You can have some free-form spirit. So let's go ahead and start. Just feel your way through it. All right, there's the beginnings of our triangle. Just reflect on that energy, that symbol, and what it means. You know, feel the energy as you create it. You know, become immersed or imbued with the power of that symbol. Now, this, as I've told you, is an ancient goddess symbol. So we want to think about the power of the goddess, the divine feminine. You might want to think about the power of water. This is a symbol for water, the alchemical symbol for water, and in magic is the downward triangle. Okay, now as I said earlier, this doesn't have to be flawless and perfect, but it should be inspired. So let your inspiration guide you as you make your sigil. Oh, look at that. I think that's working. Now, we've done the first part of our sigil, so now we want to make this next part, this spiral, or the lightning spiral, I call it. So let's work on that. So again, we're going to take our brush. And again, don't get panicked. I think that if you do this freehand rather than pre-tracing it and using rulers, you're just going to get a more amazing effect, because I think that to make a sigil like this, the magic comes in through the free-form expression. Now you'll notice my edges aren't perfectly straight and my angles are probably just a little off. But I like it like that. It feels more magical. It's just imbued with power. Okay, now look, I did that free-handed. That's pretty good. I got it that straight. We'll get a little more, and then we've got to do our downward stroke. So again, just let your hand glide. Don't get too worried about perfection. Look at that. That just feels right. Feel your way through the sigil, because creating it is where the magic starts. It's not till after it's done that it's powerful. It's powerful in its creation. Oh, look at that. I'm liking that. Now we'll get some more water here, or more paint. And then we're going to do our spiral. And again, let yourself just flow. Don't worry if it's perfect. Just go with it. Now you might need to get a little more paint. It's nice if you don't have to lift it, but sometimes you do. Oh, look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Now, if we want to make that a little darker, we can retrace that. Or you don't have to. If you like it just kind of rough. You know, the Zen masters didn't go back and trace their circles. Have you ever seen the Enso circle? It's a Zen mandala where they trace a circle in ink. It's very Zen. This is very Zen-like sort of practice. Look at that. There's our spiral. See? And there's our spiral on the original. We'll get some paint. Now we want to do our downward stroke. Or as you yoga people say, the downward dog. But we'll call this the downward stroke. We'll end right here. Notice how you want to finish your spiral with a downward point. And then you get there, and then you can just pull it straight down, just like that. Now again, don't worry if it's perfectly straight in a line. This is a movement of spirit. So if you're following your inspiration, it will be perfect. And you know what? I think I'm going to just leave that just like that. I'm not even going to try to fix it, because that was done from inspiration. And then we want to do our cross hatches. There's our first one up at there. So we'll go up here. Just feel your way again through it. I know for those of you who are perfectionists, you'll want to measure everything, but really the challenge in this is to let your spirit lead you, not mathematics. Then we're going to do our first stroke across. There you go. Again, not perfect, but beautiful, but inspired. You can play with it till you feel comfortable with it. Okay. I think I want to smooth that out. It's just a little edgy. So I'm going to smooth it out. All right, good enough. And then we want to do our base. And so we'll just again follow our inspiration. Take it across. There we go. And then after you do that, just step back. And again, this comes down to subtle intuition. Does it feel like it's done? You know, is there a place you want to touch up? Don't get obsessive compulsive. Just let yourself be guided, though. Like when I'm looking at this, I feel like I want to smooth this area out here. It's a little blotchy. So that's okay. We ask the spirit to inspire us, and we just take our brush and just flow into the mandala. Just flow into what you need. And notice how we got that nice flow going there? Again, this is all about inspiration. If your inspiration leads you, it'll be perfect, no matter how it turns out. Isn't that wonderful? Look at that. Now I'm looking at my downward stroke, and I feel like, you know what, I do need just a little more energy in that. So I'm going to just re-go over that. Just gently, just a little bit. Don't worry again about being perfect. Be inspired. Inspiration doesn't necessarily equal perfection, because there are a lot of things in the world that are done to perfection, but they're really, frankly, uninspired. So try not to get caught up in perfection. Get caught in inspiration. And here I am with our beautiful mystical sigil on our magical scroll. And so, as I said, it's not perfect, but it is inspired. And I think that gives more power than perfection. So I'm going to just sit here and contemplate it. And as you watch your sigil, it may reveal a truth to you. There are so many symbols in this. As I said, we have the hidden symbol of Sig, the lightning, the power of victory. We have the power of the goddess. We have the power of the god, the cosmos that unfolds. So many mysteries in this. But we have to take time just to listen and to pay attention. And so I'm going to sit with the sigil just for a little while and contemplate it. And if your contemplation leads you to want to touch it up or go a little further with it, allow that. I'm redoing some sections on the spiral because I feel they need more clarity to imbue the power of the image. So I'm touching that up. Again, not perfection, inspiration. I'm not trying to make this perfect. I'm trying to make it speak to me in a way that will help me in my contemplation. See, isn't that lovely? What a wonderful mystical symbol. This truly came from the goddess, because I would have never been able to dream up such a profound and mystical symbol. And those of you who have seen this have said that you've been inspired by it. From the last video, many of you said, wow, Bob, that is really amazing. I got to have that in my house. And so, make this. I'm not claiming it as that I'm the only one who can do this. It's from the goddess. It's for everybody. So there's no real copyright on it. Save that of your spirit. Now, after you finish your painting, sit with your image. Again, continue to contemplate it. Be drawn into the mystery. And then let it dry. You might want to let it dry for a few hours. If you're using acrylics, I use acrylic paint here, it should dry within just a few hours. If you use oil paints, it might take a day or more to set up. I'd recommend acrylics. Now, some of you are going to say, well, what if I don't want to use a brush? Can I use a crayon? Can I use a magic marker? Absolutely. Let yourself be inspired to create your magical scroll however you want. But try to remember that the goddess has said that if it's not on blue paper, that the writing itself should be in blue. So in some way, blue should factor in to the creation, because the vibration is the color that the goddess wanted connected with this. So I'm going to let this sit for a little while and hopefully dry up. Now, after your scroll dries, if you want to, you can also, like the smaller scrolls, roll it up and then seal it with a beautiful silver or gold ribbon. You could keep it in a scroll form and place it on your altar, or you can leave it hanging, of course, on your wall. If you're going to give it as a gift to somebody or a talisman, I would recommend you roll it so they can see it in its rolled scroll form with a beautiful gold or silver ribbon upon it. So either way, but you see, we now have an amazing gift from the goddess, a beautiful mystical symbol to bless and empower our lives. Now, somebody wrote to me and they said, "Say, Bob, could you do that on canvas and make a blue canvas with that image?" Absolutely. Now, like all things, the traditional form is paper as a scroll, but if you want to do it on cloth or even on canvas that's framed, you're bringing the power of the sacred symbol into your life. So there's no wrong way to do it. So yes, you can do it on canvas. And in the future, I may do a canvas with that. But today I wanted to bring to you another option for those of you who said, well, say, Bob, I want a really big one to put over my altar in my shrine room. So this is one way of doing it, is using the craft paper. Craft paper is very inexpensive. I think I bought a whole roll, like 30 feet of it or more, for like $4. So you can get a lot of scrolls out of one scroll, one roll of craft paper. Okay, so there you go, something to meditate on. And of course, after you make your scroll, you'll want to dedicate it to your goddess. In my case, it's the goddess Isis. But whatever goddess you work with, offer her the scroll, because the truth is all goddesses are one goddess. And my goddess Isis is the goddess of 10,000 names. So whether you worship Hecate or Bridget or whoever, offer your sacred scroll to the goddess and be thankful for her presence in our lives. Well, Tubies, I am so thankful that you were here today. I hope this has brought you some inspiration and some fun and given you ideas to enhance your altar room, your shrine, your home. Listen, help me out, please, will you? YouTube still doesn't like me, so please give me thumbs up, like this video, favorite it, share it with your friends, hit subscribe, be part of this channel, and tell me in the box below, are you going to make a mystical blue scroll for yourself? I'd love to hear from you. Guys, listen, thank you for being here. Keep it here at Spirit Channel. We got more coming. Tomorrow is Saturday. Is it Saturday? Oh my gosh, it's Saturday. So we're going to have Saturday seance. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to be here. Also, if you want to get on my schedule for a private reading, please call me as soon as possible. I'm filling up. My number is 703. This is my office number, 703-825-3929. Call me and get on my schedule. I'd love to sit down with you. Private reading is a full hour, you and me, one-on-one, and we'll discuss everything. We're going to look at your soul journey, past, present, future, spirit guides, messages from them, messages from deceased loved ones, what your life mission is, all of that, and I answer all your questions. So give me a call, 703-825-3929. You can also write me in my official email, PsychicBobHickman@gmail.com. All those links will be below. You guys rock. I love you. We'll see you back here tomorrow. And until then, may all of you always blessed be.